Alright, good morning. So as you guys have requested, I am going to do the summary of Sokkies, the Afrikaans book that we are doing. I'm going to do the summary in English for you guys so that you are able to understand the chapters. So this is going to be the summary for chapter 1 as well as chapter 2. And I hope by the end of this video you'll be able to answer the questions that I've asked you to answer, and also have a better understanding of the story thus far. So just to start off with, this is the book Sokkies, and it is written by Benita Bester. And I know one of the questions I ask you, who is the wie is die skrywer, who is the writer or the author of the book, and it is Benita Bester. The name of the book is Sokkies, and I also ask you, who is Sokkies? Okay, now if you look at this picture here, you'll see the horse. Okay, you'll see his feet is white. Okay, and because of that is why he's called Sokkies. Okay, this girl here is Helena, and she loves Sokkies. Okay, so chapter 1 basically gives you an introduction to 3 characters. The main character being Sokkies, then it's Helena, and then it's Stegman. And Stegman is Helena's best friend. Okay, the two of them have one thing in common: they both really love Sokkies. And in chapter 1, Sokkies is unwell. He's itching a lot, and also Helena then sees that Sokkies is actually looking a bit sad this day, and she speaks to Stegman about it. And when Stegman looks at Sokkies, he sees the same thing, because she says to him, Sokkies lyk vir my so hartseer vandag, Stegman. Ja, hy lyk vir my ook so, sê Stegman en streel oor die perd se pels. So he was rubbing on Sokkies' back, and he agreed with Helena that Sokkies is looking a bit sad. Now, in this chapter, you'll find that Sokkies is irritable, so he's rubbing his back up against the tree, and so Helena is very concerned about Sokkies, and she also wanted to know by Stegman if he thinks that Oom Boelie, who is the owner of Sokkies, if he will be able to get the vet to come and look at Sokkies, because Sokkies is unwell. But Stegman is not convinced that he would, because Oom Boelie is a very when we go further on in the chapters, we'll find that he's very selfish, and he doesn't really like Sokkies. So the chapter ends with Helena, with Stegman telling Helena that the vet indeed did come and visit or make his rounds at the different farms to come and look at the animals, but he wasn't sure whether the vet actually came to look at Sokkies. And so Sokkies, his feet is a bit sore, and when he walks, you can actually see that he's in pain. So that is the gist of chapter 1. So what you need to know is Sokkies is the horse. The reason why his name is Sokkies is because he's at the bottom of his feet. It actually looks like he has a pair of socks on, and that is where his name comes from, Sokkies. And normally those kind of horses, they are parade horses, and they have these white the hair at the bottom by their ankles, it's white, and so they got the name Sokkies. Okay, I'm gonna move on to chapter 2, which is hier kom Oom Boelie. And in this chapter, all of a sudden they hear the sound of a car coming. Helena looks ahead and she sees that it's actually Umbuli that is on his way to them. She then turns to Stegman and tells him that it's Umbuli, but then Stegman disappeared. And she's standing there and she's waiting, but she wants to move, but she also can't move because now she's frightened of what's going to happen. And so she just stands like she's frozen. And so as Umbuli gets out of the bakkie, he is struggling to get out because, number one, he's not sober. He's drunk. And as he gets out and he stumbles, she feels like her legs is getting lame because now he's there and what does she do? And then he asks her, what are you doing here? And he sounds very drunk. His tongue is thick and she is now in shock to actually frightened. And then she says, but good afternoon. And she says why she's there. And she says she's there to visit Sokkies. And he says to her she needs to talk louder because he can't hear. And what is she doing on his property? And then she says she brought Sokkies an apple. And then he's like, for who? And then she says, for Sokkies. But he says there's no one living here with that name. And then she says, yes, but there is. And it's his horse who is Sokkies. And then he says, oh, that creature. And then he goes on saying that the horse is just an irritation. And since the horse came, since the horse got to his farm, all that has happened is bad luck. He's got no money because the horse eats so much. And she needs to get done. And she needs to make sure that she gets away from his property and she mustn't put her foot there again. Because if that happens, he will give her a good hiding. And he gets back into his bakkie and he shouts at her that she must make sure that she gets away from him and she mustn't come. And if he finds her on his property again, there's going to be trouble. So that is the gist of chapter 2. Okay? Thank you.